All right. I'm so excited to have Camille here today. This is her talk show. We are going to be talking all about optimizing your thinking for action. This is my topic. I love talking about action. I love talking about steps. I love talking about organization. For those of you that know me, my name is Sabrina Victoria. I am the host here at her talk show. We are here pretty much every single day talking about topics that matter. If you have not already subscribed, now is a good time to hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? These podcasts are guaranteed to have you thinking differently about life and business. So let's jump right in.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
If you are listening live, welcome. And if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love in the comments. We have Camille here today. We are talking about action. We are talking about organization, optimization, and she is joining us. I have had over 600 women on this stage. She is here. We're adding another one to the list today. Camille is a coach. She is a financial professional, a connector, a podcaster, an author, a speaker. She loves to empower people with knowledge and resources. These are the type of coaches that I love, the ones that give value, the ones that give insight to all of the secrets. Her desire is to see others succeed in business and in life, and to help inspired entrepreneurs design a path toward happiness, harmony, and financial security. Lady, why this subject?
Oh my gosh, I just love optimization. It lights me up. I love the puzzle solving. I love getting things. And let me real quick, because sometimes people have this misconception of optimization and organization being the same thing, and they're different. So let's start with that. Optimization, well, organization is how you arrange your stuff. I have this box and it looks great and all my stuff is in there and it's beautiful, right? That's what we think of when we think organization. Perfect. That's organized. Optimized is how you arrange your time. Where you put your stuff may not be the prettiest, but if it's the fastest way for you to get out the door, then it's optimized. So there's a difference there. And so optimized is kind of a whole different way of thinking about how am I using my time? How am I structuring my day? How am I getting the most important stuff done?
I actually just realized this concept that you are talking about like a year and a half ago. I've just been running my business, just not understanding the importance of optimizing or even knowing how to.
Yes. Yes. And because nobody teaches it, right? We don't usually go to school and they're like, okay, here's how you optimize your day. No, they're like, here's how you do math. And I don't know about everybody else, but long division, I have a calculator. Like, right? Not using that on a regular basis. I just have a machine do it. But the optimizing, yeah, I do use my brain for that.
It's so funny that you're talking about this, because literally for the first time about 2 weeks ago, I asked ChatGPT to do a percentage calculation for me, because I always take like 20 minutes with my calculator trying to figure out the division and the multiplication and the backwards. And then
do I flip this one? And
yes, I literally am just like, hello, I have a quick question. I am trying to figure out what, and then it just did the math.
Did the math.
ChatGPT, it's just my everything.
Yes, because math is math, right? It has absolute answers for most of the things in math, unless you're way off in theoretical land. So most of the time, you plug your variables into the formula, and you get the answer, and that's the answer. So you can program a machine to do that. You can't program a machine to figure out all of the different nuances of the stuff that fits for you in your business, in your life, with your family, with your schedule. So that's where optimization comes in, and using your brain and being a human and doing it. They're probably not going to, get everything out of a machine that you might need for optimizing.
Yeah, for sure. So before we jump into all of the goodness that we're going to be talking about today, I kind of want to jump in really fast on the importance of optimization. Because I think, at least for me, not trying to project, but like also projecting, didn't really see the value in it. I was just like, it just seems like a whole lot of extra time I have to like figure things out when I'm just like flowing freely right now. But then there was an actual block where like I couldn't move any further because if I didn't start getting organized, it's just going to keep like compacting, work like a snowball. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit first on why people should even be listening to this. Why is it even important?
Yes. Why do we care? Why do we want to optimize? What's the point? Okay. If you only have 1 or 2 things to do and you're getting them done every day, awesome. Sounds like you're done, right? If it's working, you're good. If you want to grow, if you want to scale your business to the next level where you're not involved in every single minute piece of the day, if you want to get to the point where you're taking your income from the 5-figure to the 6-figure to the 7-figure, if you want to do those types of things, then you have to optimize, because at some point, as you said, you hit that wall where you can no longer do it all yourself, be in charge of every single thing. It gets too big, or there's too much, or there are more people to serve than what you can do on your own with the time that you have in the way that you're doing it. So then optimization becomes the way to allow you to move up to that next level, or to free up some of your time and have fun doing other things. If your goal doesn't always have to be, and I've had clients come to me with this, their goal isn't necessarily, I got to make more money, I want to grow my business. In fact, I had one person come to me, she's like, I do not want to grow my business. I want to go on vacation. Like, okay, cool. We accidentally doubled her revenue. Oh, whoops. Without using any more time. These things happen. But she can pay for her vacations. But that's all she wanted. She's like, I don't really want to grow my business. I want to go on vacation and not be stressed out every day. I want to do fun stuff. I'm like, cool, let's do it. So once you optimize your systems and your processes, and you actually have a plan for what you're doing, surprise, stuff gets done. You have time left over. You often make more money at the same time.
I really like this. And I think that this is one of the keys in why working with a coach is so important, because I don't know about you, but my feed on YouTube, Facebook, Insta is just filled with ads. And all these ads are make 10,000 a month, make 6 figures within the next 90 days, like all this stuff. And not to say that those aren't my dreams, right? I got big dreams, but there are so many individuals that are just like, I don't really care to be on big stages in front of thousands of people. I just want to go on vacation. And when you work with a coach, I love that you're saying this, when you work with a coach, you can have those open dialogue conversations of what are you specifically trying to do with your life, your business specifically. And then, what we can do in order to make sure that you hit that goal. Because not all of us are trying to make 6 figures a month.
Right. Yeah. Some people don't want that. Some people are just like, can I just have a break once in a while? Can I just get up in the morning and not be exhausted? Like, would it ever be possible for me to wake up without my alarm? Like, just simple stuff like that. Can I spend a little bit more time with my kids? Can I go to their sports events? And we do get that. I love that you brought this up, because we do get that pressure from the outside of like, this is the only goal. The only goal is be super wealthy and take trips around the world and, have a personal person for every other thing that you do. Like somebody has to cook for you and clean for you and, whatever, pick out your clothes. Like that doesn't have to be everybody's ultimate plan. Like if that's what you want, awesome, go rock that. But if that's not what you want, figure out what it is you do want, and then create a strategy to get to the thing that you actually want, because somebody else's dream is not going to make you happy.
Exactly. I think that's one of the biggest conversations that I have with the ladies that I run a mastermind with, is just like, Sabrina, like our goals aren't as big as your goals. Like I'm just trying to do this one thing. And that's why having one-on-one conversations with other individuals who are in the same arena as you can start to really create a plan specified just for you. So as far as optimization, we get why. Now, what can we optimize? Like,
What are we
specifically
optimizing?
are we optimizing?
Yeah. So usually a lot of times when people come to me with this issue, they're like, I want to get stuff done, right? I have this massive to-do list and it's not happening. Like I put stuff on the list. I work super hard all week. I get to the end of the week. I look back and I'm like, wait, I don't know if anything productive got done. And I added 5 more items to my list. What is up? Like, yes, maybe. Right. Okay. So the reason for optimizing is so that you can actually start to check stuff off the list, not have a super long list. Do you want to hear like my 3 kind of top tips for that? Yeah. Okay. So, you know what, like a PSA, public service announcement?
Yes.
This is an easy way to remember what they are. So the first one is priorities. Everything cannot be a priority. You got to pick something. Okay. Whatever you choose as your priority is what you're going to end up doing. So let me give you an example. And some people are going to feel very seen and very called out at the same time. I'm just going to let you know up front. Okay. If you did not have breakfast this morning, or if you skipped lunch today, or if you just had 2 cookies and, a handful of chips for dinner last night, eating a nutritious meal was not your priority. Being well fed was not your priority. If you told yourself, I'm going to get up at 6 tomorrow and I'm going to go do a workout and then I'm going to get ready for work, and you stayed up until 2:30 binge watching whatever show had the season finale and you just had to know what happened, being well rested and following your morning routine was not the priority. Watching the show was the priority. So whether you think you're picking or you think you're not picking, you're picking. You made a choice.
Yeah.
And you have to choose which one of those things is going to be the priority. So is the commitment to your work, your business, your schedule, your fitness, your health, whatever you said was your goal, is that the priority? Or is the immediate, my brain really wants to watch this thing, or I'd like to be on social media for the next 2 hours, like, is that your priority? You're picking either way. Make a good choice.
Yes.
Okay. Second thing, schedule them. People say all the time, I knew that, but I didn't do it. Yeah, I know. Okay, right? So sometimes I know that, but I don't know why I'm not doing it. Schedule whatever the priorities are.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example. Like, let's say somebody is going to create a short form video or a blog post or something like that to go on social media. Like, how long does it take you to do that? Like, if you had to guess, like, how long would it take you to make one really good, solid blog post, video, something like that?
I just did one, probably 15 minutes to write it and then disperse it. 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
I write long ones though. I write, like, the one I just did was probably like a good 5 paragraphs, 3 to 4 sentences per thing.
You're a rock star. There's no way I could do that in 15 minutes. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fabulous. I would agonize over it for way longer than that. Okay. So yeah. And so some people, when I ask this question, they say some people do say 15 minutes, but I bet you post a lot.
I do. I post a ton, and I always know what I'm posting about.
Yes.
So like, I don't just go in cold. I'm not like sitting down, okay, what do I need to post about today?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an optimization that I do. So
that's an optimization that you do, is that you already have your content planned out, you know what your topics are. So now you're just saying things that you already you just kind of talk it out, put it in, and you're good. Yes. So see, you've already optimized that process. A lot of times when I ask people this, they're like, oh, an hour, 2 hours, I don't know how long it would take, that kind of thing. And a lot of times people are like, well, let me say less so it sounds good. But right, because they don't want to. For me, I would guess an hour if I wanted to make a video or if I wanted to make a post or something, and I was starting cold, didn't have a plan ahead of time. It takes a minute, right? Because I like to be thoughtful. So if I know that, I've got to schedule that much time to make that post. Now, does it take me that long every time? No, I do a lot of shorter, faster ones, but a long, deep one, it would. If you had an activity that was going to take you an hour, could you just randomly fit that into your day?
Randomly? No,
right? Because your day's already scheduled out.
Yeah.
So think about, and this is for your audience, think about how many 1 hour long activities are on your to-do list? How
Lot.
many 2-hour ones? A lot. How many
Yeah.
30-minute ones? How many 15-minute ones? What is the time required to accomplish each of the activities that are on that list?
A lot of time.
A lot
Hours
of
and
time.
hours of time.
Hours and hours, maybe days.
Yeah. Just
So
for like one single thing.
So when we start to think about that, if you add up the time it would take to actually do all the stuff that's on our to-do list, you realize I see why the list is not getting done, because I do not have that much time in my day and I did not schedule any time for the thing that I wanted to have done. Therefore, I couldn't just randomly fit it in, because maybe I can fit in a 15-minute thing, but I can't fit an hour-long thing. If my bookkeeping takes me 2 hours, I can't fit in a random 2 hours into my day. So why would we put bookkeeping on the list and then expect that it's going to get done when we didn't schedule out 2 hours for it to have, we didn't reserve that time. So once you know what the priorities are, then you got to put them in the calendar, give them space. And if they're not worthy of getting a space in your calendar, just don't put it, we're not going to do that thing. It's off the list. Done. Stop.
Wow. So I have a quick question regarding this, and this is an issue that I do currently have. And I have sort of fixed it by inserting what a lot of people call CEO days, where I'll just block out a whole half or even a whole day so no one can book a call.
Sure.
However, on days that I do have calls, one of the biggest frustrations that I have no answer for is I book my calls. They're 25-minute calls, I think, right now, networking calls. Okay.
Yeah.
If I book them back to back too close,
Yes,
they almost always go over. Even
Yep.
and I try. Like I do the whole, like, in the beginning, hey, this is 25 minutes. I have a hard stop. Somehow, at least one of those calls is all messed up. I just really like the person. We're just freaking getting along. Someone was late, right? There's all these things.
all the things.
So I can't book them 5 minutes because it's just too, I need a drink. I need to get a snack. Like, hello.
Yep.
So then I do 15 minutes. However, most of the calls do work out great. Most of them are 20, 25 minutes. I'm off. I grab a snack. But then I just have these obscure 15-minute lulls, which is not enough time to do anything, right? I can do one post, as I have said. But even that, the pressure is so heavy that I don't even think I could do it. So then I'm doing I don't even know what I'm doing. But my whole productive day is wasted a lot of times during these networking call days, even though I have like 2.5 hours.
Throughout the day.
Is this normal, or is there something that I can do or that you can suggest?
There are things you can do, and it may be also figuring out how you work best.
Okay.
If you're someone if that CEO day, if that full day works really well for you, awesome. I have found that I can do a couple of hours, but if I try to force my brain to hardcore like focus for the entire day, somewhere around 2 or 3, it's kind of done. And then what are you doing for the rest of the day? But I could have had conversations with people for the rest of the day. So my first question would be, is that fully blocked day as effective as it needs to be? Like, are you really getting the benefit from that full day that you don't have the conversations with people?
For me, honestly, yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So then we're not going to mess with it. If it's working, don't fix it.
Okay.
For the part where you're having the struggle of what do I do in between these calls, you've got a couple of options, but you've already tested some of them, which is great because you want to first, test things out and then keep repeating that cycle till you get something that works. If 15 minutes isn't enough for you to knock something off, right? You get your snack, you do whatever you got to do, you come back, and then you've got 7 or 8 minutes left, and that's a wasted 7 or 8 minutes. What I would do is actually put a little more time so you could get something done. I would do 20 or 30 minutes between a call. You have the call. If it runs over, you're covered. For me, I like 30 minutes because if I can, I will send the follow-up right after the call, right? If I said I'll introduce you to somebody or I'll connect you to whatever, I just do that right then. Plus my snack, my walk around, then it's time for me to look up what's happening for the next call. But I would say put a little more time, because if you know that you could fit in a post, you could schedule something, you could return an email, whatever, figure out how long that takes you. If it's 15 minutes, now you've got, 20 or 30 minutes between your meetings, and you have your little list of stuff you're actually going to be able to get done instead of getting half of it done and then being frustrated because now I got to go into the next meeting.
I love this idea. And I wish I had an example here to show you, but I cleared out all my stuff over the weekend. This is an issue I have that I didn't even think about. So I don't have enough time in between calls to do my connections. So while I'm on my networking calls, I'll say like, oh, hey, I can connect you to 2 or 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like if I can't do it all, I don't want to do it at all. Like if I can't clear the whole sheet of everything she asked me to do or that I agreed to do for that person, that call,
right.
I like don't want to do half of it because then
you got to circle back up,
throw it out. Yeah, it's
this
whole thing. I like scratch it out, and I'm like, what did it say? Did I need that highlight? And then I'm like, does the highlight mean to do it, or does the highlight mean I did it? It's this whole thing.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So I don't do any of it. So then what happens is either at night I have to do like 10.
Yep.
And I don't.
You want to be done
in this, but like I don't like it. I don't.
Yep.
So I do have my VA doing some of it, but then some of it I want warmness. Like I want to read like a joke or something we said, like some, which my VA is not going to do that for me.
Right.
So a lot of times, either at the end of the day or the end of the week, girl, I'll have like 20.
Yeah. And then you got to go back and remember, like, wait, who was that? And what did we talk about?
Yes.
I met with 2 Tracys this week, and which one was the one? And
Okay.
So just do it right after. That call is not done until you send the follow-up. So you get off the call, you send the follow-up, then you go get your snack, you relax, you walk around, you prepare for the next one. So whatever amount of time you need, put that in between and give yourself a little, I call it buffer time. Give yourself a little bit bigger buffer time so that that's getting knocked off. And then the end of the day is done. You're done at the end of the day. You don't still have a big old list of people to reply to or build up till the end of the week. And you're like, great, it's Friday afternoon and I really want to leave. And now I have to message 20 people because I promised them things and I'm not letting this go into next week.
Yeah, that's exactly. So every weekend, that's what I do. Like anything that I do it at the end of the day, but sometimes I'm just doing other shit. Like I'm doing other things. I have calls, I have client calls. A lot of my client calls are in the evenings. It's held onto the weekend, which I do always get it done, but it's just like an extra thing I have to do. And even having my VA do it, it's like I still have to message my VA all the shit so that they can put it everywhere. So it still works. So even if it's like hire a VA, have your VA do it. Yeah. But I still have to email her the names, the list, what to say, what template to use. It's a whole thing. So it's still.
So if you're sending it to your VA, you could do that right after. And, maybe if you did it, it takes you 10 or 15 minutes, but if you send it to her, it takes you 5, right? So you say, okay, this template, this thing, put this and include this, and then you send that off. Now that meeting is done because everything you needed to do for follow-up for that person is finished, and you're fully on to the next one, fully present for the next one. You're not thinking about, oh yeah, I forgot to, send whatever. Like you've finished that one and your brain's freed up for the next one, and you don't have that weight of end of the day, I have to send 5 messages out, or end of the week, I have a list of 20 or whatever it is.
Absolutely. I love that. Very, very cool. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Okay. So we have priority.
Yes. Schedule them.
And then what's the last one?
Accountability.
Oh.
Dun, 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 right? If you've got something you want to get done, if you just tell it to yourself, there's a really good chance that you will cheat on yourself and not actually follow through. Really good chance, because we can all come up with a reason and a why and oh, this was so whatever. And so now we're just, that didn't really happen. If you tell somebody else just one time, just announce whatever this goal is that you want to get done. You push your percentage chance of getting it done into the 60%, like 65 or something like that. If you check in with somebody once a week, no punishment, no judgment, literally just telling them your progress, whether you did the thing or not, you just tell them what happened, you're up into the 90% chance of actually doing that goal, actually doing the thing. Because there is only so many times that most of us will want to go to someone else and be like, Sabrina, I did not do what I said I was going to do this week. Like, how many times am I going to do it? Once, maybe twice. If like my whole life is a dumpster fire, maybe twice. Otherwise, no, I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to show up and I'm going to say I did it. And you're going to be like, nice. And I'm going to be like, yes. Right? I do not want that embarrassment of coming back over and over and saying, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. So just that check-in without a punishment. You don't have to have anything other than the person goes, how did it go? And you have to tell them, that will internally wire us to be like, I'm gonna do that. And we bump it up on the priority list because we know someone's checking. So you got to have accountability somewhere.
Yeah. I even do that myself with my ladies when I have new things, new programs, new whatchamacallits I have going on within my community. I always announce it with a deadline.
Yes.
For that same exact reason. Because it's like, even if they don't remember, even if they don't care, even if it doesn't pertain to them,
right.
Just knowing that I promised it and somebody is looking for it.
Yes.
Gives me that accountability. And I'll even find myself like not wanting to do the thing. And then like, it'll be the weekend or I don't even know. And my fiance will be like, oh, let's go to dinner. And I'm like, no, I freaking can't. I have to get this done. Like I still have 2 more little things that I have to do and I have to get it done because it's due tomorrow.
That's right.
And it's not being graded. It doesn't matter. Like,
nope, it's not for a grade,
but it does matter.
That's right.
And making myself accountable to a group of people totally works. So you got to have the accountability piece. Otherwise, at some point it's going to fall apart. There's a few highly disciplined people out there that can get stuff done and it's, they'll make it happen. But it's rare. And it's easy for all of us to start sliding when we can just sort of self-talk ourselves and, it was a really hard week, or, I deserve this, or I'll do it next time. Yeah. If you really pay attention to the gurus of the world, the Oprahs, the Tony Robbins of the world, they all talk about how they have coaches in different areas of their life. Yes. They have coaches for their finances, for their mindset, for their health, and it's not, maybe they don't have them all at the same time every single year, every, week of every living, breathing moment.
Yeah.
But it is something that they're continuously pulling into their world as far as making sure that they're holding themselves accountable to a certain part of their life to somebody.
Yes. Even though I am a coach, I still have coaches. Like sometimes people think, well, you're a coach. What are you doing with a coach? Oh, making sure I stay on track and stay good for my people, right? Like if I'm not having other people teaching me how to level up, then at some point I'm going to hit a ceiling on what I can do for my clients to help them level up. So I always have a head coach or a business coach, or, I had nutrition coaches, fitness people, all kinds of stuff, because whatever area I feel like could use a bump right now, I'll find a coach that knows how to do that and then learn from them and implement it, which is kind of key. Coach can tell you a lot of things, but if you don't do any of the work, nothing's going to change.
100%. Do you want to read Celeste's comment?
I do. Yeah. She says, I agree. When we announce our goals or visions, it keeps us accountable. Great advice. Thank you. That is fabulous. Yeah. Announce what you're doing. Let's just everybody do that. Put in what's your big goal? What are we working on right now? I'll help you out right now. Put in what you're working on and tell us, and just make the announcement right now. You'll be surprised how much more effort you'll put into it over the next week of actually trying to get that thing done just by announcing it, even though we may not, we're not going to go knock on your door. Did you do it? Like, that's not going to happen, but tell us what it is. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I know you talk a lot about how important it is to take off the blinders and to really look at the big picture. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of things that kind of get in the way of us taking action. And when we get into that little tunnel of whatever it is, right, we tend to think, well, I'm just going to work harder. I'm just going to push through it. I'm just going to keep going. Eventually, someday it's going to be easier. We're going to get to the end of the tunnel. So I'll tell you a little story about like kind of how I got started and how I ended up in coaching, which this was, I mean, I didn't end up in coaching until 8 or 9 years ago. So this is go way back, right? As a kid, I tried really hard not to be a teacher because there's so many teachers in my family. I was like, oh, no, I'm a rebel. I'm going to do something else. Complete nonsense, because I was totally 100% born to it. And oh, look, coaching is just teaching grownups instead of teaching third graders, right? And I love it. I love it. I've been doing it ever since. Always nonprofit zoos, after school programs, things like that. Ended up at one point assistant director of an after school program, over like 10 school sites, over 1,000 kids, training all the staff, teaching, all the staff how to do things, writing all the curriculum, running the main office, all that stuff. At one point shifted from teaching the sciencey things I went to school for over to having a ballroom studio. So teaching dance, loved it. Thought I'd be there forever, 80 years old, still teaching, all that kind of stuff. Went great for a couple years until one partner left, a new partner came in, and then it was just a chemistry disaster meltdown. And I can only cry at my desk for so many nights in a row before I decide maybe we should make changes. So we closed, we broke our lease, we got sued, we went to court, we had a judgment against us, we had credit card debt in my name and construction debt and just all the things. And I was sitting there being miserable in my room, like hiding from the world. Please, no one notice me again, right? Like that kind of eating chips out of my hoodie, that sort of deal. And people started calling me and they would say, hey, I'm so sorry that happened, but would you help me with my dance studio, my construction company, my real estate business, my chiropractic office, whatever it was, because they saw how my brain worked. They saw how I optimized things, and they were like, come do a little bit of that over here. And so it took a minute, but eventually I was like, I think this is a thing. I should probably charge. And that's how I got into coaching. So that was like 8 or 9 years ago, niched it down to optimization. But as I was in that process, and I also started a financial services company, and I still have both today. But as I was in that process, I kept falling into that trap of thinking, if I just worked a little bit harder and waited a little bit longer, at some point, things would be easier and amazing, and I'd have all the money and I would be able to spend more time with my family. What I was really doing is not spending time with my husband and kids so I could build businesses that would allow me to spend more time with my husband and kids. Disconnect? Anybody? I did not see it. I did not see it at that time until my husband came into my office one day and he's like, I don't know what's going on with you, but you seem really unhappy. And I think you should fix it because it's making everybody miserable. And I was like, oh, okay. So hence my foray into hiring coaches, figuring out how to kind of shift my mindset, shift my plans, shift what I was doing, and then going into teaching other people how to do those types of things. Because, yeah, I have 2 businesses and I host a podcast and I do all kinds of things. But I go to the stuff with my kids. I go on vacation. I take off on weekends. I work when I want to, and the rest of the time I go have fun things. I go enjoy the rest of life, because I realized someday was not really a day of the week. It was like saying the second Tuesday of next week. It's not happening. It's not a thing. So I needed to figure out, how can I make that stuff happen now? And when we get into that mindset tunnel vision, we're just focused on, my list is super long and I got to do what's on the list and I just have to. It's like, do you really? Is that what's most important? Is that where you want to be? We feel like when we have that tunnel vision, we feel like we don't have choices, but we do always have choices. And saying no to something is an option. You can just say, no, I'm not going to do that. You can say, that's more than I can handle right now. I'm out. You don't have to agree to bake the cookies for tomorrow morning and it's already 10 o'clock at night. Like, no, you can just say, I'm not doing it, right? The world will not end if you don't bake the cookies, or if you don't, whatever it is, right? You can make that choice. So having the bigger picture, broader vision first, and then narrowing it down to say, okay, now what are the steps to do to achieve that? is the better way to go, rather than just working all the time and not really knowing how those efforts are fitting into your larger goals.
Beautiful.
Did I answer the question?
Yes.
Awesome.
So much so. And Celeste did her homework. Do you want to read that out
She
loud?
did. She says, my book will be released in the next 10 days on Amazon. That is awesome. Purposefully Living, Not Perfect. So I'm working on the book release online and in person. You go, Celeste. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Get out there and promote it and have your strategy ahead of time so that you're not just scrambling, going from one thing to the other, like randomly doing things. Figure out what's going to work, figure out what the best promotion strategy is, and then stick to that, because sometimes you got to test it for a little bit before you can say, yeah, that didn't work.
Absolutely. Great advice. Well, this has been fabulous. So appreciate it. I feel like everyone listening is getting a really good idea of what you do. But I would love to hear from you exactly what you do and who should be reaching out to you. Who do you work with? Who do you help?
Yeah, so I am an optimization coach. I help entrepreneurs streamline their business so that they can really enjoy their life. The people that I typically work with when they show up, they are those people who are working, like just running on the hamster wheel. Go, 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 go. And they get to the end of the week and they go, I don't know what got done. I don't know if it was useful. And I added 5 more items to my task list for next week. And they just don't see the end in sight. And they're like, I would really love to do this, but I don't even know how I'm going to have time to do that. They're typically solopreneurs or entrepreneurs who have maybe 1 or 2, 1099 people. Maybe they've got a BA, something like that. And they're really wanting to get to that next level where they actually have SOPs, which is standard operating procedures, and things like that written out and in place and ready so they can hire someone and have it not suck. I don't know if you've ever hired anybody and then you're like, I can't tell them what to do. I don't have time to solve it. I don't have time to explain it. And I'm just wasting money now because I might as well do it myself. Like, if you've had that experience, it's time to talk to me so we can actually get past that experience for sure. So those are the people I love. I typically, when we work together, the things that everyone wants that start happening for them is for them to get more done. The list items are actually getting checked off, get more done. They end up making more money, even though hardly anybody comes in with that as their main goal. Maybe 20% of the people I help, that's their main goal. Most of the people I help, they want to do other things. They're like, I want to take a vacation. I want to see my family. I want to do these fun things. And they end up making more money, which then pays for all the cool stuff that they said they wanted to do. So that works out. And they want to have time left over. That's the big. They want to get more done. They want to make more money. They want to have time left over.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Social media, website? Where do you hang out?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn a lot. That's probably my one of my social medias that I'm on all the time. And it's just in Camille Diaz on there. Like, no fancy stuff next to my name, just Camille Diaz. I got on LinkedIn so long ago. I actually got to have my name, which is awesome. I'm at Cam Unfiltered on Facebook and Instagram. I'm on there fairly regularly as well. My website is go.optimized.zone. So you can jump up there and read all about me, read all my history, read all the stuff that I've got going. I run an academy for entrepreneurs, things like that. And if someone wants to, you could grab my freebie, which is Calm the Chaos in 15 days. And you're just going to go to CamilleDiaz.com/15. That's 15 to pick that up for free. It's a little 15-day video series where I will come to your inbox and share a tip that you can implement right away, like an instantaneous change type of thing for you for 15 days.
So
CamilleDiaz.com/15. Just the numbers 15.
Okay, let's see if I did it right.
Okay.
Hang on. Is that right? Do you see it on the screen?
It didn't. Yes. CamilleDiaz.com/15. Yep. You got it.
Right.
That's it. Perfect.
Beautiful. And then what is there? A freebie for what?
Yeah. Calm the Chaos in 15 days. So it's going to be 15 days worth of me coming 2-3 minute type videos that will share little tips each day on whether it's a mindset or a practical productivity tool to help people actually start to regain control over what's going on in their life and in their business. So things will be a little smoother, a little easier. Let's just everybody take a breath.
I love it. Well, this has been great. I so appreciate you coming here, being with us, hanging out. For those of you watching live, thank you for being here. Make sure you follow, like, share, and follow Camille if this resonates with you. Her website is just below her face area there. It is also in a clickable link in the description wherever you are watching us at. So feel free to click on that. And she hangs out all over on social media. So it was Camille Diaz Unfiltered.
Cam Unfiltered.
Cam
Cam Unfiltered. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. Thank you, Sabrina. This has been amazing. I'm so grateful that you let me come on and share today. And I hope we helped somebody kind of breathe a little bit, relax, maybe get inspired to work a little bit on those goals and get some accountability. Go to turn off the streaming service, before midnight, something like that.
Yes, 100%. So any closing thoughts as we wrap up here?
Yeah, let me see. Something that I have noticed sometimes happens is we occasionally maybe I want to call it our pride, get in the way of asking a question or raising our hand and saying, hey, I'm a little bit struggling with this. Whenever somebody asks us how our business is going, we always want to say, it's great, it's amazing, I'm so busy, right? And busy is sometimes code for drowning, but pretending that it's all good. Right? So if that's you, if you're the one that's using busy as a cover for I'm good, but somebody please throw me a lifeline, don't be afraid to ask for help. Just say, you know what, it's a little bit rough right now. I could use some encouragement. Find that support community. I love, Sabrina, that you provide this, that Her Nation is one of those places where people can tap in and, meet with other people and actually get to know and feel that they've been seen and heard and valued and all of those kinds of things. Because especially when you're an entrepreneur, it is hard. If you've got people that have more traditional styles of jobs in the rest of your life, a lot of times they look at you and they're just like, why are you crazy? Why are you doing that? It seems so hard. What's the point? And they don't understand what you're trying to build. They don't see the same vision that you see. And so if you're feeling like you feel the need to pretend that everything is good and mask all the difficulties, but it's not going to get fixed if you're not asking questions, if you're not getting help, if you're not talking to coaches or reading things. And, do stuff that's going to be productive. Don't get stuck in that trap of, well, I'll just watch another this and I'll read another this and I'll just keep that. You got to actually take action and try something different. Make that change in order for it to really go, really happen. So don't just let go of a little bit of the fear. Raise your hand if you need a pat on the back once in a while or a little inspiration, because I think sometimes we hesitate to do that as entrepreneurs. We just want to pretend everything's amazing, and maybe it's not, and that's okay.
Yeah. I talk about the thrashing all the time on how difficult it can be sometimes. And that's just, that's part of it. And you need a support system. You need people so that when you're going through all of that, you can sigh a little bit, of like,
okay, that was really rough, but I'm still going again tomorrow, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And this is the journey, this is the route that we have chosen, the challenges that we have chosen. And it's not supposed to be so heavy. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a journey. You're supposed to network. You're supposed to reach out. You're supposed to find people to hold you accountable. You're supposed to find a community. You're supposed to work with people. You're not supposed to do it all by yourself.
Right. You're not supposed to be by yourself. And I want to, sometimes people think, well, if I just sit here and think good thoughts, everything will fall on me. It'll be fine. Right. You're just like, oh, I'll just sit here and be amazing. And I will draw in you still have to do the work. Right? You still have to do the work, but it doesn't have to be a grind. It doesn't have to be miserable. You can be authentic and have a community and get help and be successful. Like there's very few people who get successful all by themselves with no one else ever, right? Even if you think you are, somebody helped you out at some point, and then you have to say thank you. And oh, that's so hard, but we can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
100%. Well, this has been lovely. I so appreciate you being here, Camille. For those of you listening live, thank you. Once again, I am the host here, Sabrina Victoria. I invite you to join our amazing community, Her Nation, where we continue to have uplifting, amazing conversations just like this one to help you every step of your way, whether it is in your life or your business. Until next time,